Master, if you're talking about the last few years, there's no doubt at all that global info analytics has been the most credible polling agency as far as our elections are concerned. So people tend to take, whatever projections they make far more seriously. Now, 2 weeks ago or thereabout, I read a report which said that nobody had crossed the finishing line, which suggested very, very strongly that there was going to be a second round in the elections. Now, last week, I then saw another report which gave Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia 57%, which suggests that there will be an outright victory. I've seen other polling results, such as the one that you read, which indicate that Kennedy Agyapong could win with up to about 52%. And I've seen others. There are even some suggesting that Kwabena Agyapong could also become the flag bearer of the new patriotic party. I have just one simple question. All of these posters claim to be polling delegates. Where did they find the delegates? Because I've spoken to persons from the different campaigns, and we're having difficulty getting the final list of delegates. In fact, I'll mention a name. I spoke to Dr. Kwesi, who is working for the Bawumia Campaign, who actually told me that as of last week, we were looking for the telephone numbers of delegates. And as of last week, they had not even been able to assemble 100 telephone numbers. You can call him.
The former Nyasotum guy.
Exactly.
Really?
Okay. So if this is the situation where the contestants actually can't even reach delegates, so all these figures, where are they coming from? Musa. So all these figures, where are they coming from? Because if you're doing this kind of polling, and as they claim, they are polling actual delegates, then the list of delegates, proper, certified, ought to be available.
True.
Their telephone numbers ought to be available to you. Mm. So all of these polling agencies who claim to be polling delegates, which delegates list are they using? What telephone numbers are they using to be polling the delegates? I don't know. Mm. There's a question which deserves to be answered. So that's one part. Now the second part for me is that I've been observing these elections at least from 1992. And I know of situations where significant changes have occurred on the Congress floor. And Titus is here, you would admit. Well, the favorite candidate goes to Congress. Favorite candidate. Everybody's favorite goes to Congress. And on the Congress floor, 1, 2, or 3 things happened, and there's an upset within hours. It happens. I remember in particular the contest between Danquah, Akufo Addo, and President Akufo. We could not believe what happened. In the twinkle of an eye, Akufo Addo, the favorite candidate, was reeling. President Akufo overtook him on Congress floor. That's a fact. Okay? So when I hear these figures, I take them with the benefit of my experience. So the figures are interesting, they are fine. Global Info Analytics is the most credible polling agency so far, and so on. But there are all of these questions deserving to be answered. There are a few things that have also happened in this campaign which have never happened in our politics. Never happened in our politics. Okay. In a matter of 1 week, 2 books have been written and launched about Kennedy Agyapong. It's never happened before. Indeed, last Monday, I was at the launch of the last book. I think the title is The Builder-in-Chief, Kennedy Agyapong, something. I was there. It's never happened. That is interesting. In fact, I've not been able to read both books. I've read one. I've read the last one, which was launched on Monday. I've read it. And the scholarship is interesting. You should read it. I mean, the guy who wrote the book has very flowery language.
Okay.
He has a good sense of geography and purpose and so on. It's so well done, you know. But this is a new development in our politics, you know, where contestants, actually in the primaries, think that their biographies need to be published. And the last book I'm talking about is a 400-page book. 400-page book. You should see the quality of the book and so on. So that's something which is interesting. Now, let me talk a little bit more about this book launch. As at this book launch, I didn't stay for long. I left. For good reason, I left. So when it came to auctioning the book, the people buying the book were delegates.
How do you know?
The chairman of the South African branch was there. I think he bought the first copy. The secretary of the South African branch, who is also a delegate, was also there. They were announced aside. They were announced there, you know.
Oh, okay.
And somebody bought a copy of the book for $10,000. Does that say something? Yes.
I see.
You know. So this is going to be interesting. Exceedingly interesting. Now, if you take the polls which say that there's bound to be a second round, what does that tell you? What that tells you straight away is that ultimately Kwabena Agyapong is going to be the kingmaker. Most of the polls I've seen place him third.
Yes.
So he appears, from what the polls are saying, not me, what the polls are saying, he appears to have enough votes to become the decider if there's a second round. So he becomes a very important person in this, you know, primary, this election. There are a few polls which are suggesting that he is on the rise and that within the last 3 weeks he's made substantial gains. Now, if you look at the trajectory, it does appear that those polls are suggesting that he could place second. If the trend continues for the next few days, every day he's improving. That's what the trend suggests. I'm not saying that I believe the prediction, okay? But if that prediction is true, and he falls into second place, then Kennedy Agyapong becomes the kingmaker. Because he will then have enough votes to decide who wins. So we can all make these predictions. We can all make these predictions.
And it's an interesting point to win. Okay,
ultimately.
Before you go ahead.
Yes.
I've listened to Musa Danquah, and a similar question was asked him, why it appears that Brian appears to be increasing numbers. And then Ken Agyapong is reducing in numbers. His theory is that since the day Ken Agyapong made those comments about Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia, the delegates, some of the delegates have decided not to vote for him anymore, and to rather throw their weight or to give their votes to Kwabena Agyapong. That is Musa's theory.
Is that not interesting?
Yes. Then the host asked him, but why would they, decide not to vote for him because of what? He said, well, the MPP is a very conservative party. They are very particular about, the demeanor and the posture of whoever intends to lead them in terms of what you see and what you don't see and so on and so forth. And so for them, those comments that Kennedy Agyapong made them to decide that, look, we'd rather give the votes to Brandy Champ. That's his theory, and I think it's entitled to it.
I don't think that he knows the MPP.
Okay.
The NPP is not that conservative a party.
Okay.
The NPP had Nana Danquah Akufo Addo as presidential candidate before. What is conservative about Nana Danquah Akufo Addo? Tell me, what is conservative about Nana Danquah Akufo Addo before? And yet the party voted for him as their candidate. So that cannot be a true analysis of the situation.
You're challenging that.
It cannot be a true analysis of the situation.
Okay. All right.
Even Edubuahin. What is conservative about Edubuahin? Nothing. You understand? So that cannot be a correct analysis of this or an explanation of what has happened.
Okay.
Now, for me, it does appear that one of the important considerations would be who they can elect, who can lead them to victory in 2028. That's a tall order. This morning, I'm reading Gabby, asare, otchere, darko, and I hope that the reports are true. Gabby, otchere, darko, a leading member of the New Patriotic Party, has commended the performance of the current government, describing it as promising and encouraging. Speaking on recent developments in the country, according to GH1 TV, otchere darko said the government has shown, where is the continuation? Positive signs in handling national issues and delivering on key responsibilities. He noted that the progress seen so far gives him hope that the administration is on the right path. And I can read more. This is according to GH1. Now, if this is the situation, described by...
He said
what?
It's what I here, yes.
Oh, then no problem.
Yes.
I had my doubts, but if you watched it, fine. Then it's a tall order.
Why?
Oh, getting somebody...
The government is only 1 year old.
Agreed. I'm restricting myself to the comments made by Gabby otchere darko. I'm not going beyond that.
Okay.
You understand?
Right.
That's a tall order. Who can beat this? That should be the question that they should be asking themselves. And I would have thought that they would have been in a better position if they selected a candidate who was not part of the past administration. It gives them a chance to say that, look, I would have done better. Now that chance is closed. Okay. Whatever it is, this multi-party democratic dispensation can only do well and thrive if you have parties of relative equivalent strength. Weak parties cannot sustain this democratic order.
True.
So my prayer is that the New Patriotic Party should grow, should become stronger than it is today. But that does not depend on me, does not depend on you, depends on them and who they eventually elect. Okay? There are various problems which are going to come up after the elections. After they finish the elections, they're going to have to deal with the issue of who wins the executive positions from the national to the polling station.
Yes.
Whoever wins this election, how would he conduct himself? Would he interfere in the selection of officers? How is that going to play out? I don't know. I'm told, for example, that now the eastern region appears to be a no-go area for persons who are not on the Brian Agyapong side.
Hey.
I'm sure you've heard it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that now Brian Agyapong is said to take full control of the Eastern region.
The Musa Danquah poll says otherwise. He says Bawumia is winning Eastern region.
Okay, no problem. There are different views, there are different pools. I like to look at all of them.
Okay.
You understand?
All right.
So it's going to be interesting. The bit about the signing of the peace pact.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Why?
Nikwati. My brother Nikwati. Signing of peace pact in an internal election. Peace pact.
Both parties are telling us that it's normal. They've been signing, except that this time around, it was made public.
No problem.
Yes.
Watch it. It's a peace pact.
Yes.
So the combatants in the Sudan Civil War, what are they going to sign?
Okay, so let me read these messages.
No, seriously.
Let me read this message.
The lexicon is even frightening. They're signing a peace pact in an internal contest. Yeah. Signing a peace pact.
Yes, it's.
So the combatants in Sudan, what should they be signing? Boss.
Well, they should also go and sign their peace pact.
Oh, peace pact.
Peace
okay.
Pact. Yes.
They couldn't even find a better way of describing the document they were signing.
It's a peace pact.
Peace pact.
Yes.
Looking at the work that we have done, the inputs, what we have done, it tells me that look, Dr. Bawumia will win this election convincingly. If I sit back and I see the way he's been vilified, he's been insulted, he's been called all kinds of names. In this our party, it is not one party. We have different facets of people coming from other regions that have congregated to form this party. In the Discrimination Act, there are 30, 1957. We have the LM, we have the Northern People's Party, we have the Muslim youth, we have Ewe youth and all that. And Nkrumah said, no, there's no way you can form a political party that is faced to a religion or a tribe. So they have to come with the Discrimination Act 38, 1957, to form the United Party. So when LLM came with 12 seats, Northern People's Party came with 15 seats. Dombo was the leader of the Northern People's Party. And he gave out to Professor Buzia because he felt that Buzia looking at his pedigree and the kind of work that he has done and all that, let me yield to him. Because Dombo could have led the party at the time. And he gave it out and became a deputy to Professor Buzia. And we built this party. In 1998, where Malik Al-Hassan, he was a candidate, including Professor President Akufo, J.H. Mensah, Nana Akufo Addo, Dr. Safwedu, Dr. Jani Selby. If they did not let themselves, they could not vote for Malik Al-Hassan. In 2007, Ali Mahama, the Lords did not vote for him. They voted for Nana Akufo Addo. In the recent past, 2023, out of the 10, 9 were Christians. Only Dr. Bawumia was a Muslim. I am saying this because in our tradition, it is nothing to do with where you come from and the kind of religion that you belong to. It's about what you carry. It's about the competence that you have. It's about the vision that you have. If we want to go by religion and to determine, Dr. Bawumia would have got it. But not at all about that one. So when we try to portray that, look, where is he from? Mbeje. It's sad. It is very, very sad. The minority tribes have led the majority tribe to lead this party and become president. So if for once we need the support of the majority tribes to help the minority, we blend and we work together. But when you call him names, when did he come? Mbeje and all these things, without factoring in his contribution. It's very painful. Look at the Supreme Court matter that came. Look at the Supreme Court. It was clear for everybody to see. You have 21 days to gather all your evidence in these pink sheets. This man and the team, the legal team, have to sacrifice to gather all these facts. You think it's easy to go and be in the dock? To stand in the dock for 9 months, defending your party, for us to know exactly what happened in 2012. And if this man has come out, the way he distinguished himself at the time, and he's been described as coming from where, how will you feel? I'm a Ghana. I'm a minority tribe. So if one day I also qualify to lead, is that how I'm going to describe? I totally disagree of those who are making those commentaries. Then comes the issue about the conduct of Kennedy Agyapong.
Before you talk about Kennedy Agyapong, Ghana has suffered long enough under polished, suit-wearing politicians who talk well but deliver poorly. I have been part of that failure, but now we need a disruptor. A disruptor. Someone with fire, courage, and the character to confront the dark forces holding this country back. That's why I support Ken Ofori Agyapong, a leader willing to do the heavy lifting, give space to experts, and finally set Ghana on the right path. Kweku Annan, MP, Obuasi West.
That is his belief. I'm also telling you.
You don't think that he
belongs to Kennedy.
A point there?
No, he belongs to Ken.
Yes.
So making this argument, that is what he believes in. And on the contrary, you don't need somebody who's so abrasive. You don't need somebody who is abrasive.
But that abrasiveness is confronting dark forces.
Please. Everybody is the management typology that you want to use to govern. What you want is the results. Okay? I've told you, Ghanaians don't want those kinds of people. They want people cool-headed, reserved, comporting to enable them.
The young people on the streets of Accra were told want Kennedy Agyapong. The youth say they want Kennedy Agyapong. That's
who said so?
They want an action man.
Action man.
Yes.
Okay. The first will show. The first will show. Somebody to say want Bawumia. Somebody to say want Bediatuo. Somebody to say want Kwabena Agyapong, including Kwabena Agyapong. So we don't fault anybody. But I'm saying that when it comes to competence, when it comes to the leverage in terms of governance, Dr. Bawumia is far ahead of all of them. Okay? So please, I want to look at the way some of the words that are coming out. This is my mentor. When we started Alliance for Change, himself, Nanado, Nyao, Ajiri, and others, we learned under their feet. We learned under their feet. There is a way that you communicate to your leaders. You communicate to your peers. But if your own friend, somebody you once went and marketed, there was a good candidate, today you turn around and you are describing him as a liar, when you knew very well that you could have taken the time to find out the information that was given to you. It ended up, he never said such a thing. And you went ahead and described him as a liar. If he wins on the 31st, and we are calling for unity to come along, to go and market him, how will you be bold and confident enough to stand side by side with him and tell the people of this country that what you said in the past was not truthful? And if he's been described as a liar like that, how will he feel? How will he feel on national television? And he's not showing remorseful after when the evidence came out. And look, Dr. Bawumia never said anything like that. I was thinking that, oh, my brother, I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't get it well. So please forgive me. Then you move on in the spirit of teamwork and building the party together. And he's on the platform. All of us saying that.
Right, if the video is ready, can we play the video, Ken Agyapong's video where he's responding to...
He has no regrets.
Okay.
He's not going to apologize for anything.
But this is unfair.
No, he's asking to apologize, and I'm saying that this is Ken's... Ken's
response
but I'm saying
that it's unfair.
What's unfair?
Because similar things have been said about Kennedy Agyapong. Are you going to play them too? Are you going to play similar things which have been said about Brian Agyapong? You can't. So
don't show it.
When the other
it's all over social media. Don't show it.
It's unfair.
You know,
we've got to be fair.
Don't show it.
You know.
But clearly, I really want to drum hard. And let us be very mindful. The way we attack our own, the way we describe our own. I can disagree with Kwesi on this platform, but I cannot use certain words to describe him because we have a relationship. A relationship goes beyond politics. It goes beyond politics. Why? What at all are we looking for? What at all are we looking for? So I want to appeal. Today is Wednesday. We have tomorrow and Friday. We will go and cast the ballots. And I believe that it is important that after these elections, we let sleeping dogs lie and come and help. Look at Professor Boateng too. Moro, Boateng, the very vehicle that used to champion you under President Akufo, who made you the chief executive of Kolebu. The same vehicle, the party vehicle that brought in a government, gave you a minister of state. You sat on national television and described the vehicle as fake. I don't know what is wrong with some of our elders. I find it very difficult to speak anyhow, attacking them back. But I think that it is not a good sign. To the extent that saying that he did not even vote on 2024. What kind of hatred is this?
But did you listen to his
And
reason?
Professor Boateng speaks when it is election and it's about Bawumia.
But did you listen to his reason why he didn't vote in 2024?
I heard somebody say what?
His arms were twisted.
Twisted how? Twisted how? If he believes in, so why didn't you come and contest himself too? Twisted how? They went for the election and the man won. We don't talk like that.
Anyway.
And he said what? He has taken us to court. That they should go and expand the electoral college.
Yes.
I don't think he has the moral right to do that.
He and Dr. Nauta.
Yes. I don't think he has the moral right to do what he's doing.
Why?
A party that you have described as fake. A party that you have maligned.
Oh, no.
You have disgraced.
Oh.
Why? Why?
He says something has changed about
What has changed?
fundamentally.
Surprisingly, he doesn't even know the general secretary. Jesus Christ.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.